Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today's build and play guide is going to be on the Katsonis, the Pan-European Tech Tree Destroyer. And this is an absolute fun line, and it doesn't change here. I almost like this ship as much as I like Split. Not quite, but pretty close. For your commander, you're going to be using Jersey Swirsky. Now, keep in mind, this is a beginner's guide. There's going to be a lot of people out here that don't have the commander resources to have built both the Ericsson and Bay, right? So, if you only have Bay, and this is your build right here with Eric Bay, because you got to use it on all your ships. I completely agree, or I completely understand in not switching. Now, if you want to build, particularly in this ship, right? There is a lot of other good perks for this ship, including Du Fournette I played with. I've been playing around with a lot of them. So like Du Fournette's a good one to get some extra damage. You could get some other ones as well. Another one I kind of like as well is the Carl Berger or Bergami. This one's pretty handy as well. It kind of, I mean, there's a bunch of ones that you could take for this perk instead of detection. This line, once you get the radar, you should not be worried about your detection. Granted, like I said, if you're limited on commanders, I completely understand. There is a bunch of different perks in this slot you can take. With that being said, observant range, Mordor, perceptive as always, and the thing that makes this line so good is Fox Flare, right? This is the part that makes these ships really overpowered. Normally, without that, these things would be really good. And I actually, even without a radar, this might be one of my favorite destroyer lines. But when you have the radar active on this ship, right, you get a 10% quicker reload. And that is significant. But the big part of this perk is the radar duration matches your smoke generator dispersion time. So, or your action time. So what that means is if you're using your radar, and it's a 10-second radar, obviously, right before it runs out, if you pop your smoke, it will continue to use your radar will refresh, and you will get another 20 seconds of your radar. And I would highly recommend using it that way. All right. Even if you don't end up using your smoke, having that a 10% reload buff to your main guns and having a radar last for 30 seconds is almost it can be really tough as another destroyer to win that fight, right? So for our modifications, we're using aiming systems mod 1, steering gears mod 2, along with split in this rest of this line. I think it's supposed to have prop mod built into them, but I can assure you it doesn't feel like it. Like these things stop and start kind of rough. And for the last slot, concealment mod. Now, honestly, you're not worried about the concealment. It is handy, but what it is more for the incoming fire dispersion, because a lot of times, as you guys have seen in my split videos, I am open boat gunboating once I get rid of destroyers. So that is handy. Now, for your last modifications, I would take main battery mod 3. Now, one thing I would recommend that I started doing on this line, and I will be doing on all my tech tree lines, is when I'm working on a ship, right? You can upgrade these to legendary. And what I would do is have one legendary like I do. I have a legendary for each one of these, as you guys, and I have them on a ship. But I have one for main battery traverse. I have one for gunfire control. I also have a artillery plotting room legendary perk. And because when you're leveling up a ship, I would 100% be using these and just switch them around. Don't sell them when you're done with the ship, right? Just purchase and install a plain one. Don't sell your old one because then you'll lose it, right? And then you can move it from ship to ship. That's up to you guys. Just a little tip that I've been doing lately and I really like. For your actual here, your Upgrades, I went with the artillery one first. So helping your reload time and your 180 time. That is huge, right? Getting your reload down. And then I took the targeting system. So I took the firing range increase. And then I took the haul. Reason being is getting these guns really good can save you probably way more than that extra little bit of health. Well, that's just me. For the loadouts, you have HE only, guys. And we'll talk here about it in a second, but it's good HE. You have two smokes. These are very handy. They do have a longer reload. You know, it's a 3-minute reload between them, but you do get two of them. Super handy. And you have three radars, and these are what make these ships really powerful. Well, the perk does, but having these obviously helps, right? And they are 10 seconds long, but you can extend them by hitting your smoke right as one of these is wearing out. Now, this is one thing I talked about in Split, and I still stand by this. In fact, I'm more on the side now of taking defensive AA. Why is that? For you guys that don't know, this engine boost is only 5%, not 8% like a normal one. So it's about as it's just almost half as effective as the normal one. So it's not very good. Granted, it's engine boost, so it's helpful. But this defensive AA is plus 400% to your average AA damage, which a normal one is only 2%. And I can assure you in Split, I will never change this. It will always be a defensive AA. Now on Katsonis, you're running a little less against aircraft carriers, so it could be 50-50. But definitely on Split, knowing what I know now, 100% will be using defensive AA on that one and not the engine boost. The engine boost just isn't very handy on it. That being said, you have 23,000 hit points. And you have 6 main guns right now. So you have one more than you did with Split. But, guys, real quick, one of them, as you can see here, we're going to take a look here. One of them, the extra one that gets added, it's front of the superstructure. And they can't always fire. As you can see, 2 in the same row right in front of the superstructure. They can't always fire at the same angle. So a lot of times you're only going to have 5 guns on target. To be fair, though, it's better fighting angles than I expected. But just don't get in a stupid position trying to get all 6 of your guns off. Again, with these guns, they are the quarter pen HE, or they're better penetration HE, so you can actually pen 35 millimeters, I believe, of armor with them. So basically, you can aim at anything on any entire ship but the belt, and you're going to be absolutely fine in these. And these guns do a lot of damage, and the fire chance on them pretty darn good as well. Torpedoes. You have 8 of them now, so you get 2 more than Split, but the one downside to them is you can see they're on each side. They don't fire, as you can see, up by the funnel, in between the funnels. They don't fire off of both sides, so you only have 4 per side. It has good firing angles, right, for them, but you only have 4 per side. And let's be honest, they're pan-European ones, so they really, they really don't do much. Let's be honest. They can be handy. When you have 6 of them, they're a little bit more handy, but when you have only 4 on a side, it really kind of limits the use of them, and they don't do any damage. Now, these ones are real quick, so, you can use them against other destroyers. AA defense here, not amazing, but it is better than what it seems, again, like Split. This AA is a little bit worse than Split, I believe, but still solid. Maneuverability, outside of it stopping and starting slow, pretty darn good. This is way more agile and dodgy than probably these stats show. Also, the speed is fine on it. And on this build, the detectability is 6 for this build. For my stats, guys, it's I've only won at 63%. Now, is that because this ship isn't very good? No. This should be much higher, guys. And I'm going to show you here kind of a second here of what I have to deal with, but you can see here it's the same stats basically as my split, and I'm winning at almost an 80% in my split, right? The XP is about the same, the damage is about the same, the warships destroyed is about the same. What's the difference? Teammates. While I had pretty decent luck in split with teams, this one I've had atrocious. Probably the worst luck I've ever had with teammates ever in one ship. It's not a knock on everybody else, but I've had too many matches like this where in this match I took out the destroyer even though there was two of them there, right? So I took out the small one and the cruiser as well, and almost took out the Katsonis, as you can see in the background. It happens, right? It just happened to have bad luck on this ship with teammates, and this ship isn't good enough to 9v1 everybody. Is it good enough to carry a lot? Yes. But is it the end-all be-all? No. You can still lose in this. In fact, I had a team in it once that set my new personal worst, I guess, where my team entirely died. I fought a destroyer, and then 3 minutes and 43 seconds in the game, I was the only person left on my team. That being said, this is a great ship, and I can assure you, just like I said with Split, because we had a rough start with Split, with teammates, this will go up. Okay, this will be one of them ships I win at almost an 80% win rate, and no, I don't play divisions in standard, so this is all pure just this ship being really good. So they will be at 80% or pretty close to it. Armor right here, as you can see here, it's a destroyer. Yeah, you don't want to be shot if you don't need to be. You don't want to take unnecessary damage. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player, not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. With that being said, we are on Sleeping Giant. We're bottom tier. That's absolutely okay. This match is going to be one of the best showcases for this ship in its entirety, right? I'm going to show you a lot of things about this ship. Well, we obviously we're very good on Split, and no different on Katsonis. Now, I've talked about, had unlucky with teammates in this ship. This match is going to be quite different. This ARP Musashi, if you're watching, you are an absolute legend. Thank you for this match, okay? I had two really good matches in a row right before I was getting ready to record today in Katsonis. Both of them were a help from really good teammates, okay? I love when that happens, and I would love to showcase when we have a teammate. Now, you guys can see I am almost halfway across the map. I'm almost in the middle of the map, and there is nothing spotted, meaning I can get pretty aggressive. And I'm not located, meaning the player I'm going up against probably not very good or not very aggressive. I'll be honest, I thought it was Smalland on the other side here, and I thought this was going to be the easiest fight. Now, I'm still pushing in, and you got to learn when you're going to push in, right? I'm asking for help behind me because I think I'm getting into a fight here. Now, the reason I continue to push this far is his teammates have not been spotted, or they're so far back, they're not going to be much help to whatever destroyer this is, right? And being that I'm not located, probably not the world's best destroyer player. We get spotted, the second you get spotted, pop your radar, and it's a Z-52. A Z-52 is the one ship that should be winning this match against Katsonis, in my opinion, because you have that sonar. We're going to turn out right away, and we can see we popped our smoke. Even though we're not using the smoke, we popped it to extend our radar, and we're turning out because Z-52 is going to sonar us the best we can, right? The second he gets a chance. So Or if he's a good player, that's what a Z52 would do. Would just, honestly, in the Z52, you should just, if you see one of these, like a Katsonis or Gdansk, you know, you just turn in, make yourself hard to hit, and then sonar them, and then you're going to, you know, mess up a Katsonis or Gdansk. So you can see we take out of Z52, arguably one of the best destroyers in the entire game. And now we're going to go back and help spot for our team. And also in the process, when you get in a fight, I would recommend turning out or in anyway because of torpedoes, as you can see here. Just be careful after a fight to not get suckered and to be relaxed and torpedoes come at you. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and try to spot, and this is where the fun begins. And this is... So Minotaur played a little cautiously, right? He could have moved up behind these islands. These guys were all way back, and he could have got up to a closer island or a better position. But our ARP Musashi is going to be absolutely legendary here for us, right? And this is going to showcase another thing about the ship. If you get the opportunity to shoot your guns, and you can do it without dying, do it. But in this right here, I'm trying to get to the decap. We got rid of the destroyer. We kind of have free range here. There is 2 caps on this side. There is no reason to go to the B cap right now, right? Right now, they're getting points from their the D cap, right? And we can stop that. So there's no reason for me to go. It's smarter to go flip their cap and control these 2 on this side of the map than it is to go to the middle. Although I will say I have a tendency to go after a next destroyer if it seems like a good opportunity, but there's just a lot of ships over here that we still need to deal with, right? Alaska's pushing in. I let my, you know, hey, focus on that. And these guys over here, they absolute legends. They focus on Alaska. And we knew we were probably getting radar. We threw the torps out. We didn't throw them out on the white line. We thought where he was going to try to turn in and try to get us, right? So we got a torp hit, and now we're just going to use these guns to absolutely get rid of them. Am I panicking or running from a radar cruiser? No, you don't have to do that every time you see a radar cruiser. In fact, you can see we pretty much mess him up along with our teammates. You don't have to be scared of a radar, okay? One thing I wanted to showcase in this match, another thing is, just because you're in a destroyer doesn't mean you can't fight a radar cruiser if you have to. Also, you can see I put myself behind an island so he couldn't shoot me, and I could still shoot him, right? It's being smart. If I needed to disengage and make it so he couldn't, you know, I could have gone behind the other island right here to my left. Just don't be afraid of that. Now, our stinking Musashi is doing awesome. He is spotting for me, meaning I get to use my guns, and I don't have to risk all my health. And we did use our radar booster there too. One thing, a lot happened there, but we used our radar there to boost our guns to help get rid of our Alaska in a hurry before he actually could do something to me. That being said, we're just gonna start farming Republic. So we have absolutely, with the help of our teammates, we are absolutely wrecking this side. Now that the cap is actually free here, though, you're going to see I'm going to start to push up. Obviously, I know where the other destroyer is, but for the time being, it's way smarter to go get this D cap, like I said. Whenever there's 2 caps on one side where there's normally 1, it's always smarter and easier to control 2 caps in one area than fighting, right, you know, a war in the middle, when in reality we can defend these 2 caps easier than we can defend, you know, the other 2 caps. It's smarter to do that. So we're going to go ahead into the D cap here, and we're going to push up and help spot for our team. And to be fair, this Musashi, he doesn't lose all his health either spotting. Like this guy, you'll see later in the match, he's got most of his health still. Like, way to go, dude. Yeah, there's Minotaur. He's pushing up. Look at that. He took all that heat for us, and he didn't lose all his health. So, Musashi, way to go, man. Just way to go. So, we are, in fact, located, and we know that it's the destroyer in the middle, probably, in that middle area. So, we're being careful. We're going to watch over there, but we're going to get this cap. You can see I'm still paying attention over there, and we're going to try to finish this cap off, right? And like I said, really lucky on teammates. Also, when you get in a fight with other destroyers in this, any destroyer in general, but make sure you have the advantage normally, like what we did. We knew our teammates were closer to that fight in the beginning than what the enemies was. So we knew we could go to war. Or you don't charge in and just lose because you had less help, right? Because if you, one thing is in destroyer, sure, if you beat another destroyer but you wind up with no health, you're really not that effective to your team. We're going to take a couple pop shots as we go ahead and start to work towards the B cap now that we've gotten this side completely secured. And here is another radar cruiser. Are we going to be scared of it and run away? No, we're going to try to take this thing out, right? He's a big threat, and somebody gets a decent hit on him, and we are going to go ahead and finish him off. Now, we're being smart. We didn't charge him either, but you don't have to be scared of radar cruisers. It's one thing, you know, the radar is only 30 seconds, guys, right? And if you're in a good position, that's not enough time to get rid of you. So we're going to go back here as Yamato starts charging in. We're going to work back on him, and then we're getting ready to turn around to go back into the B cap. But you can see this match is already over, almost over, real quick. But you can see we are putting fires on. So even in the, what, 7 minutes we were fighting, we did a significant amount of damage, and we set a lot of fires, right? And we were able to use our guns without hurting our team, right? Like, Musashi was spotting, so we didn't need to, and we could help them win the fight, right? But you can see here, starting and stopping, this is another showcase why I want to use this match too. Not super amazing, obviously. And also, that destroyer went to A, so not in a super hurry here, but we're going to go ahead and push up. And you want to be real careful of Italian cruisers and any destroyer, because as you can see there, Venezuela, Dev strikes the enemy Smolensk. That Italian SAP is devastating to destroyers. And honestly, I know a lot of people are like, oh, they don't have sonar or radar. Just because a cruiser doesn't have sonar or radar doesn't mean it's not really effective at getting rid of destroyers. Trust me, Italian cruisers, I've shot more destroyers, killed more, dev struck more destroyers in Italian cruisers than by far any other ship that I've ever played. But you can see top of the leaderboard, or having ourselves a decent game, top of the leaderboard, really helping our team win. And also kudos to that Musashi that really helped us out on that flank. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you folks next time. Have a good one.